Hello guys, playing Title Tuesday today, 3 minutes before the start of the tournament, and and let's see how it will go. The My point for today is to have a decent time management. So what I will do, or at least what I will try to do, is maybe having 2 minutes after move 40. Yeah. Like usually I recommend, for example, to have uh, maybe, let's say maybe to have half of your time after 20 moves. At least, yeah. Then half of the rest time for next 10 moves and the rest time for moves from 30 to 40. But this is we can apply to situations when there is increment and especially for the classical tournaments when there is 30 minutes after move 40. But at least for classical tournaments when even there is nothing after move 40 but still 30 seconds, as well as a rapid tournament, blitz tournament, when it's still there is like 10-second increment or 2 seconds increment. Here the time control is 5 minutes, no increment, which means, let's say if I have 1 minute after move 40, it's still, let's say there is a high chance of losing on time. So realistically speaking, I need to have 2 minutes on my clock after move 40. This would be a good time management. So I have 3 minutes to make 40 moves. Maybe this is not an optimal time management, but we will see. Maybe I will correct the numbers for the next tournament. But for today, let's say like I actually maybe after playing a few games, I haven't really checked my games from the previous tournament. So let's go. So I mean, I don't really know how realistic that to still have 2 minutes on my clock after move 40. But at least as a minimum, let's say let's say I need to have 2 minutes after move 30. As a maximum, as a perfect result, 2 minutes after move 40. This is already winning for me. Makes sense. And yeah, maybe this move is not a great idea. Actually, I have knight c5, so should be fine probably. Yeah, okay, bishop a3. I can go for knight e3, but at least I have b6. Yeah, knight e3, then maybe knight takes e7. Who knows what is that? Also, knight e3 doesn't achieve much itself. Let's just play b6, a safe, solid move, defending the knight. If bishop takes, I'm fine about that. I have some ideas. e4, knight d3, e6. g4. So some tactical ideas. If bishop takes, there is knight e4, then knight c6. Okay, we're not going to take it. Bishop e4, bishop d3, both look good. Even bishop e6 is fine, absolutely fine. Let's just go for a safe move. No, let's go for maybe bishop e4 more active, I would say. Let's go for bishop e4. I don't mind taking the knight on d5. Can take here, then knight c2. This is one of the options. Another option simply taken on d5. But then queen d5, knight d4, e4, queen e7. A better position for me, of course, but how much winning is that one? That's a question. And maybe I'm gonna take the bishop, maybe I am gonna take the rook, who knows? Okay. Taking the bishop doesn't make any sense. Let's take the rook. e4 is coming. So actually, you see how difficult it is to, how difficult it will be to have 2 minutes after move 40. Even in this simple game, when I was in fact here I'm winning from the opening. It is not easy to if knight c2, there is rook d1. Of course, I can even sack my queen. This would be fine. Let's go for queen c2. If queen a1, I have knight d3. I have enough material, so overall, even being the exchange up in the end is fine for me. Like whatever is winning for me, whatever. So you see, even in the first game, I wasn't really able to to keep my 2 minutes. That's why I'm making moves fast now, trying to keep my 2 minutes after move 40. Yes, I did that. Worsening my position a little bit, but I did that. strictly to the plan. Bishop c5 is winning, but okay, let's take the pawn on f5. I don't really understand. This is what I told you multiple times. I don't really understand when people don't give up in completely winning positions, when they are not better on time, they are not better on position. I mean, they are completely lost on the position, and also they never really had a better position in the game. So what are you playing for? What is your hope? This is, to me, this is like, this is weird. Yeah, so based on this game, I see how it is, let's say, not realistic to, how much it is not realistic to have 2 minutes after move 40, like still have 2 minutes after move 40. Because even like here, when I was completely winning from the opening, like not much to say, just like with this d6 winning a pawn, and the rest is knight c6 was actually one of the best moves. Yeah, okay, not much to say about this game, just more or less easy win. So then let's accept that 2 minutes after move 30 is okay, but I will try to aim for more. I will do my best to. I'll do my best to be under, not under, but yes, to get to move 40 under 3 minutes. I mean, because yes, like 2 minutes is fine to have. That's why I have 3 minutes to make 40 moves. And this is, by the way, guys, very good practice for you. You can play any training games, anything, and set yourself some time marks. Yeah, let's say time marks. So for example, after move 20, you should have half of your time. When you play with increment, at least half of your time. Of course, it would be good to have more time, especially since first 5-10 moves, obviously you should know, like at least 5 moves, and making them automatically. Playing against somebody from Kazakhstan. Let's go. And so then it would be good. This is a complex position because white has the bishop pair, but some kind of damaged pawn structure, which could be still okay, could be a problem, depending on how well you play chess. Oh, if I play knight h4, then maybe g5, and it's not so clear if g5 is something I want to see. So let's go knight e1, knight c2, knight e3. In a better way, let's play g3 now. The knight goes to g2, then maybe f3, rook f2 if necessary. Might be a small issue. Yeah, not so happy about my... Let's go f4. I don't really like this move. Maybe it's not a good idea, but I don't want him to play d5 easily. So at least creating some problems for him of doing that. Of course, I'm a little bit worried about my king, but I don't see, let's say, any way for him to get there. And I hope that, let's say, I just need a few moves to consolidate my position. By the way, rook a2 is a very interesting move at some point, bringing the rook to the king side in this way. And maybe this is what I will do. Why not? So like bishop f3, maybe rook goes to f2, doing it in this way. Knight takes e4, I don't believe. I grab material, shouldn't work. I didn't play f5 because for me there is no rush to do that. At least this is how I feel the position, how I see the position. And also when the opponent has knights, you should be careful about pushing your pawns, because pushing them too much, you give squares for the knight. You see f5, then knight goes to e5, being able to go to g4 at some point, and so on. So you really want to do it in the best possible way, in the best possible moment, when you are ready to when everything is ready, or at least most of your pieces are ready, or when you don't really have a choice. So it's already like either you do that or it's too late. By the way, rook b1 was not a bad idea, developing the rook in a simple way, attacking the pawn on king g1 or h1. It's a good question. It's not so clear actually which square is better. There are some possible disadvantages for any of them. Let's go to h1, keeping the g file free. So my idea would be to play bishop f3. I don't care about the bishop here in this position. For me, it's more important to bring my rook to g2. The other rook will go to g1 and checkmating the king in this way. Because if he can take with his knight. It's not a big achievement, I would say. I can even play bishop d2, but maybe it's a good idea for him to keep the center open. Actually, I have queen e1, which looks like a decent idea. Or queen e1, maybe the knight is anyway. The knight is no better. I play rook c2. Yeah, better. I play rook c2, but now I'm threatening e d5. So in fact, I don't really, it's not even about defending the pawn on c3, but it is more about resuming the threat of e d5, so kicking his knight away. Otherwise, I didn't like some ideas like f5. And if e5, he will go for knight c3, winning some material. Okay, knight c7. Maybe now f5 is not a bad idea. Also, since I think f5 is one of his ideas how he can defend the position. And then always queen d5 check, something to worry about. And my plan is simple: queen e1, queen g3, rook g1. That's it. I need a bit of time to do that. So, and of course, he needs to do something to avoid that. Don't see. The only thing I'm a little bit afraid is to blunder something. To blunder, yeah. As I told you, the king is under. The king is under some potential problems, and it's important not to blunder some stupid things like knight f5, rook e4, rook d3. A lot of potential captures, as you can see. And actually, I don't need this bishop on c1. Yeah, bishop b2 makes perfect sense. Next move a4 first, and then c4. He cannot really take my queen on. He cannot really take my queen because of hg3, trapping his knight on h4. And actually, rook f4 was already like maybe a winning move. And now, like, yeah, a4 was not really necessary because now there are some possible captures on f5 and on e4. Yeah, rook f4 was an easy win right away. Now I need to worry about some unnecessary things. What if I play knight? Yeah, probably I need to play rook f4 anyway. I'm better on time, but you see this game 25 move 25, I have only 1 minute 25 seconds. Maybe of course we should make some like little bit discount on I'm talking, and sometimes I'm talking on my move as well. Yeah, this was expected. Should I take the queen first? I think better to take the queen. Oops! Totally forgot that the rook will be attacked. Okay, fortunately he has 15 seconds, so not a big deal. I can even play rook f2 and flag him in this way. Or I can play rook f5 and play in that position. Not so clear which one. I think it's better to keep the position a little bit more complex and flagging him. But of course ef5 was a win for me. Why draw? What this? I have a bishop. What is this? Like, I can't checkmate his king. This is stupidity. I wouldn't sack my rook. I would just completely win in game. Yeah, stupid decision. Like, just take on f5 and that's it. No, this is insane. I didn't know the rules like that. The rules were like this. Spoiling completely winning position, uh, just in a very stupid way. Because I still had 15 seconds, yeah, so I could have flagged him in a more delicate delicate way, yeah, not giving up the rook. But I thought like I didn't really think too much. I was just making moves and I didn't care. But if I knew that if you have only bishop left and it is draw, then I would I would play it in a different way. I don't know, like by like chess.com probably has different rules from FIDE, because by FIDE rules, if you can, yeah, this was like I allowed this. F6 doesn't look great. Um, so by FIDE rules, if you can checkmate the opponent, even if it's like, let's say you have a knight and the opponent has a pawn, or you have a knight and the opponent has a knight, by FIDE rules, it is a win for you. Maybe my king becomes a bit vulnerable once I played h5, but overall it's already like... Now if I take here, there is d6, which might be okay, but might be a small problem. And if I take here, then rook d5, maybe queen c6. I have a good square for the queen. If f e5, I have queen takes c4, but then rook d7, not so simple. Let's go for this one. A bit risky, but I feel it should be okay, because I'm attacking the pawn. If queen e4, I have queen e4, rook takes f5, attacking his rook on e4. But I feel that I should be fine after rook e6. Rook e6 here. I even have bishop h6 actually. Bishop h6 probably is what my opponent blundered. Some internet problem. Stupid. works. Okay. So now if I play king g8, then queen takes g6. I have rook e1, bishop e1, maybe rook a1 there. Oh, but there is a rook e5. Nice. Wait, yeah, let's go for bishop h6. If he takes, it's good for me. If he doesn't, then I like maybe for rook f1, I have queen takes c4. If rook d1, then I have maybe rook e8. Just makes sense. Yeah, once again, you see, I couldn't fulfill the mission of keeping 2 minutes within 30 moves or 40 moves. But okay, this game I was late for the game. I was affected by that stupid game, by stupid rules. I don't understand what was that. I thought I would be winning. Grabbing one more pawn, I check rook d7, but then I have rook e7. There is no discovery by the bishop, which is important. Interesting, after rook e7, I can even go for queen c5 check and taken with the queen. Maybe it makes sense, maybe it doesn't. I'm 2 pawns up, so of course should be a win for me. Queen c5 or rook e7. That's a good queen c5. You see, queen c5. It was a check to my king. Queen c5. Okay, obviously the guy wants to go for rook h8 followed by bishop f6 or even bishop f6 right away. No, not a problem for me. I have queen c5 check. First of all, checking his intention, what he's gonna do about that. Yeah, king f1, that's right. Okay, couldn't beat him in an easy way. But what do I do? How do I beat him here? Because bishop f6 is still an option. Queen b5 check is possible. Queen h5 doesn't make sense. Queen c6 is possible. Now the queen defending at the pawn on f6, so everything is under control. But I don't really like the way I played and the way I waste my time. Oh shit. not a great conversion, but it's all because I was like my mind was in the previous game. My mind, and overall I was very disappointed with the previous game. Or I didn't see queen e2 move. Yeah, he could have played queen e2. And here it is. Oh, rook e1. Like, of course, still keeping it winning and eventually winning, but yeah, what can I say? Stupid, incredibly stupid. Okay, let's try to forget about the round, like round 2 game. If I take on d5, then queen d5 will be attacking. Okay, I can take on c5. I can play queen c2, which is not a bad idea. If I take here, then there is knight c3, bc3, queen d5. No, this is not what I want. Let's go for queen c2. The idea to defend the knight, so I would be able to take it with the queen if necessary. cd4 is the right move for black, I think, because after cd4, I don't think I have time to take on h7. This would be too optimistic, but okay, the guy didn't do that. Now he has just a bad position because I have the bishop pair. Okay, what do I do? How about rook d1? Is it a good idea? Rook d1 should be a good idea. Or maybe knight d5 was actually just... Oh, knight d5 was a simple win. If e d5, then queen c5. If knight d5, queen d5, then e4. Okay, okay. No worries. No worries. The position is better, so let's try to focus on the current position. Maybe c4 by black is something what they need to play. So at least creating some activity, some chances, some disbalance. Not disbalance, disbalance is already on the board. But if he doesn't go for something active, then eventually the bishop pair will finish him. Should finish him. So far, move 18, 346. Time management is okay. I have some good ideas like queen a5, for example. Overall, like maybe my next move will be bishop e2 or even bishop f1, because this bishop is blocking the d file. Also, the bishop is a bit vulnerable on d3. Yeah, just as I expected, just as I told you. Let's go bishop e2 and queen a5 next move. Now bishop a8 is a decent move by him. what else to do, right? Oh, maybe bishop c6 is bishop c6. However, maybe I can grab the pawn. Bishop 8. I can also grab the pawn. uh, However, like, overall bishop b6 is something I don't really want to do. I don't want to give up my bishop pair. I don't want to give up this important bishop, the defender of the dark squares. But maybe I will have to do it. But I think if he goes bishop 8, I'm not gonna do that right away. I will look for something else I could do, and if I have nothing to do, then okay, I'll go for that. Let's give him a move to make. Let's see what is his plan. Maybe queen f6 is not something I'm really happy with. Taken on b6, I don't really want to do that. But maybe should I calculate that a bit? Maybe I could do that, but I would prefer not to. Let's play h3. Not the best move, but yeah, making room for the king at least, and maybe because f3 is never enough for the king. Of course, it can go to f2, but it's usually not enough. What do I do now? What are his problems? c4 is a problem. I can play rook c1. Getting there would be nice, like bishop d4, maybe queen e5. So far, move 23. The time management is bad. Alrighty. Maybe a4, a5 is a great idea, actually. Yeah, a4, a5 is what I need. Because that knight on b6 is... smart boy. But okay, we can grab the pawn. Yes, opposite color bishops, but pretty good position for me. This is a typical situation, a position for two results. And I wouldn't even call this position a position for two results, because in my opinion this is almost a winning position. Unless he can easily get his pawn to a4, so maybe this is what he's gonna try to do, but then queen a7 I have. Take the pawn now. Why do I say that it is an easy win? Especially like, for blitz game, I can play it forever. Even in a classical game, I would play it forever. I can grab the pawn on f6. Do I need to do that? Rook c7 might be a problem. So maybe I don't really want to do that. Let's play king h2. Overall, I'm 2 pawns up. That's enough. So I can exchange the queens. I can do something else. I don't really need to get more. It is about keeping what I have rather than achieving something else. And given the time, given the position, of course it's a deadly lost position for black. He could resign, in fact. Of course, rook d7 would be good to exchange the rooks, but still, it's like he can do some moves, but it wouldn't change the result of the game. Especially being that low on time. Do I need queen g8? Yeah, I don't really achieve much there. I'll just play queen d2. Yes, yes, yes. No rush, boy. We are fine. Using a chance to push the pawn. Yeah, the only problem here is not making something stupid like it happened in round 2 when I had a winning position and when I had no single chance to spoil it. But I was able to do that. By the way, I have just 20 seconds. Yeah. Yeah, the only moment I think here, of course, knight d5 was, no, rook d1 is even a better move. And because I don't really win the pawn on c5, so rook d1 is absolutely fine. Yeah, so the engine would take. I didn't want to. So just having a pleasant position, pleasant advantage, and slowly winning the game. I don't know, for let's say for 2 minutes against 1 minute, and like this is not really, let's say, not real numbers. Next round, probably finally playing against somebody strong. There is 6-minute break. I'm not surprised to see some blunders by me today, because like, okay, previous time I told you that I didn't sleep well. Unfortunately, it also happened today. My son didn't like wake up at the night and didn't sleep for like maybe for some time, like maybe 2-3 hours, and so eventually I got to sleep at maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and I had to wake up at 8:30, so sleeping 4 hours. But I took a nap in the middle of the day. Still not a great shape, but not a great condition, but I would say better than the previous time. Gregory, hello. Nowadays in Kazakhstan, in Astana. So that's why I don't really expect anything brilliant today. But like, even like you see, I couldn't even manage my time. Actually, like you see, it's something very important, and something for, like in my case, I think it's a big problem. And the point is that I want to spend more time to make a move. I want to kind of like maybe some lack of confidence because of lack of practice, and I want to I want to spend more time checking everything. But it is blitz. It's not about checking everything. It is about your instincts, playing faster, and that's it. Yeah. And while playing slower is it's about already something wrong, let's say. Gregory, thank you. Maybe like overall it was just like winning games, or could have done this, could have done that. Not a big deal. Still having 3.5 out of 4 today so far. Now I'll be playing against somebody strong. Let's see what I will do there. And it's not easy. It's not easy. Like you can, for example, set up yourself a goal of, let's say, making 30 moves in 3 minutes. But then there are of course, there are some reasons to waste time to think. Like, okay, this is something important, an important position to spend some time to think what to do, and so on. And this is something probably to break myself. At least let's see how it goes today, and then maybe if it doesn't go well, so far it doesn't, I mean in terms of my time management, then next time I will do it like super strictly. Like either I let's say make 30 moves in 3 minutes, or like let's say I need some negative motivation, like, or I quit the tournament if I don't do that in any game. Let's say for today I give myself a chance to do it in a soft way, in a gentle way, and if it doesn't work today, then next week I will do it in a hard way, in a tough way, strictly following my time management. Because yeah, especially like since last year's, it's a big problem for me in blitz, and not only in blitz and rapid, but also in classical chess. It was always kind of my problem, playing against a parent, a very solid and strong player. And ideally, blitz should be not about thinking, but about like pam pam pam, just playing fast, showing your instincts. And if your instincts are bad, then you're bad at blitz, obviously. Hmm. I changed the rook because I didn't like some ideas of knight f4, and eventually I would have a problem with the pawn on e6. Of course, he might. Okay, let's play. He needs to play f4, because if fg4 I have knight g4, which will be very, not very, but painful for him, I believe. Can I play b5, shutting down everything, or let's go h5. Let's take. He doesn't have a way to defend the pawn on h4. I mean, the rook is hanging, and I'll play queen h8. The only thing I'm not so sure, okay, doesn't matter now. I wasn't sure if after queen a4 I do this or that move. I had several good options there. What do I do now? By the way, good time management in this game, yeah? 37 moves, I have 3 minutes. Oh no, I couldn't, okay. I was worried I missed some tactical idea. But I didn't. b6 and c6. Actually, this was my idea, but seems like it was a bit stupid. Let's go knight a4. Can I play b6? If cb, I have rook b7, but he has queen c2 there. But I have queen d8. If b6, c6, knight d6, he has queen e2. What if I first play queen d8? And keeping in mind idea of b6. Knight c5 doesn't work. Okay, let's go rook c8. His king is actually exposed, yeah? So maybe I can, maybe I could use it somehow. However, it's not that easy to do. The bishops control everything. Maybe like this. Maybe he wants to go rook a1. Knight c5 would be nice at some point, but it doesn't work right here, right now. Maybe it works. Does it work? Knight c5, bishop c5, queen a5. No, he has king c2 there. Rook takes c5. No, knight takes c5. That was my cheap threat. And he fell for it. now if rook c4, I have queen b5, rook b4, queen takes e2, rook c4, queen b5, I take on c4. He has no way to defend the bishop. The game is over. Okay. Actually, like, I played not in a good way. I was lucky he didn't play, he wasted time on bishop f1 actually. C5 before right away. Oh, rook h8 makes perfect sense. Yeah, overall I was like, why I didn't want to leave my rook on the back rank is because of rook a7. But here he could have played rook a8, and I actually saw that, but he didn't play it. And h4 was a nice idea to start with, because if queen b8 there is queen a4 and rook a8, and now if he plays queen a4 I could still do the same I did in the game. However, here it was not easy to, yeah, this is not a great idea. Bringing the queen back. And eventually won with a cheap trick. If he didn't do that, then yes, in the game it would be just slightly better for me, but not easy to break through. So, or maybe, yeah, closer to an equal position. Oh, so far I like the standing a lot. I like the standing a lot. It would be good to have these standing in the end of the tournament. You see, I'm actually quite solid today. I decided that, you know, the World Rapid and Blitz, you play in a T-short, and you kind of forced to do that. Of course, there are some options. You can wear a sweater, but maybe something else. But overall, let's say most of the players play in a T-shirt. And the curious thing is actually that, let's say, during a year, or maybe this year, I don't really wear a T-shirt yet. So that's why for me it's kind of, let's say, not so comfortable to play in the World Rapid and Blitz in a T-shirt, because, like, of course, since you, like, let's say any tournament, you play in whatever, but not in a T-shirt. Yes, you like any short, any like whatever, something sports style, but Gregory, thank you. Whatever, but not a T-shirt, let's say. And you see, I won the game because I was good with my time management. Okay, it was one of the reasons, of course, not probably not even the main reason. The main reason that he blundered, but still. My favorite exchange Slav. Already I had some potential tricks with some captures on h7, d7, d5. Knight f7 is something I really would like to play, but knight f7, king f7, let's say f5. Oh, here there is, one funny thing, knight e4, d4, let's say knight f7 there, king f7, bishop c4, bishop, like queen e6, queen takes e6 would be really nice, but it is not a checkmate. Let's say knight e4, d4, knight f7, king f7, bishop c4. He would have to play... Would he have to play? Probably he would have to play bishop d5. I could play bishop takes, pawn takes, f5 there, but g5. Probably slightly not enough, but almost works. Shit. And also I'm wasting my time instead of making something useful. Maybe something stupid, but something making that fast. Maybe, for example, takes, knight f7, king f7, f5. But knight f6 all the time is a problem. Can I play after bishop c4, bishop d5, f5 there? Bishop takes c4. I take on, let's say I take on e6. He goes king g8. I take on d7. Let's go, just like to have some fun. Let's go for this. Let's go. Maybe I simply blunder something and I lose in a simple way. But let's go. Let's have some fun. Knight f6 I blundered. I mean, I thought I have f takes e6, which would be strong, but actually it is not strong. Rook takes f6 doesn't give me anything. Now I need to double my rooks on the f file, but he has bishop d8 there, so maybe it was a stupid idea. Okay, we had some fun at least. What can I say? I think still there is some compensation for me. Of course, my time is pretty bad for, let's say, for it to be a real good compensation. I can play e7. I don't know if I need to include this move, and then rook f1 looks reasonable. But okay, let's go for rook f1 right away. Because actually if he takes with his queen, I can go for queen e6, rook e6, and something like g4, because actually his king is almost checkmated. So queen h4, unfortunately there is knight d7. I don't have enough rooks to do something great there, but actually I can go queen f2 there. Maybe queen e6 was better. Queen e6, but there I saw something there, that's why I didn't play it. I missed that he can play bishop e7 actually. Simple move. Oh, bishop e7, I have rook takes e4. Even there it's like he can play queen d5, but okay, at least I will have 2 pawns. Rook f7 is probably not enough. Unfortunately, I cannot, let's say, distract his queen somehow after simple queen d5. Rook e7 doesn't work. Can even play queen h5. Like queen h5 probably is the easiest way to win for him. It was an interesting sacrifice, but a stupid one in terms of practical results. I think there might be something. F5 right away. I thought about this move, but didn't get the point what I achieve after this, for example. Here I do it in a different way. Maybe even in the game I had something. No, in the game I didn't have anything. Knight f6 is unfortunately the only move for him, but enough. Unfortunately, like you see, almost every time it's let's say it's almost the only move for black to win. Queen f3 would be a better move, but still it's lost for me. Yeah, so, and it was also possible to go for a simple take and bishop c4. I thought about this for a moment. Yeah, actually a very easy way. Yeah, of course it's not practical to spend 2 minutes in such a position, let's say. Funny thing, losing a game and playing against a stronger opponent, playing against Erigaisi. The previous opponent was weaker, Okay, let's enjoy the game. And this time, no stupid decisions to complicate the things, to spice things up, to enjoy the game. Let's just be very pragmatic and simply beat the guy. E4, by the way, was a good move, was a good moment to play E4. I don't know why I didn't do that. Usually it's a good idea to exchange that bishop because the bishop is defending on the queen side. Simply developing everything, not making some stupid things, unnecessary things. Because the bishop was loose on d2, and maybe, by the way, rook d1, the bishop is freeing the d file for my rook. Oh, by the way, bishop c3 is not a bad idea at all to play. To exchange. Now he will actually do. Oh no! Now we go with knight c3. Because knight c3 is attacking the pawn on d5, and if he takes, because if I wanted to play bishop c3, but then knight takes d4, and black has a good position there. Or even here he was able, like maybe knight c3 was a bad idea. If he seems like if he can play this move, then it was not a great idea to do that. There are some loose pieces for black, but unfortunately bishop takes f2 is coming, so I need to do something about that. Maybe king f1. I'll move my rook away. I don't want to move the rook away. Let's go this one. I don't know. I hope I don't blunder something. I think I shouldn't blunder by making this move. This is expected. Can I play knight d5? Of course, I wish this rook was somewhere on e2. You see, sometimes you wish something and you can do that. Actually, rook e2 would be even a better square for the rook, right? Okay, here we take. Oh, actually, can I play knight e7, king g7, takes, knight c6? Unfortunately, there is rook c8 in the end. Could have played rook c6 maybe. even playing for a win. Actually, I can play for a win, maybe. He cannot play b5 because of bishop takes a5. So I expect he will be attacking my pawns. This is what he needs to do to... but I will do something like maybe smart, maybe not really. Let's play f3. And next move I will play h3, if rook h1, for example. So the rook will be defending only one pawn on g2, and that would be enough. And by the way, if he plays rook g1, I can go king c4 right away, because rook g2, there is bishop h6 there. Do I need to play h3? Maybe not really. A bit stupid. Exchanging the bishop was a bit stupid decision. This is maybe another stupid decision. Oh shit, why did I do that? Yeah, I wanted to play b4 instead of bishop d4. Fucking loser. do you like my trick with rook g4 on last second? Yeah, here like so bad. Bishop d4 was a mistake. I wanted to play this, bishop b2 and this, and I think this is just should be winning for me. Yeah, bishop d4 is a mistake. I didn't expect that I couldn't push my pawn. Yeah, but otherwise I played a very nice, yeah, here I allowed him this. I didn't say d4. But otherwise I played nice. Oh, knight b6, knight b6. Oh, rook. I didn't see that, but okay, let's go on. Playing against Andrew Tang. You may wonder why I called Eric Garcia a loser. In the end, because he wanted to flag me. He in not in a single moment of the game, he pretended to have a better position. Yeah, he was worse. He was worse throughout the whole game, and then he wanted to flag me in a like from a in fact having a lost position. Yeah, like so this is of course not nice, and this is about this is not about fighting spirit. This is about being I don't know what would be a good word for that, but this is about being stupid, honestly saying. I would say a solid position for both sides. But probably I'm better. However, it will not be easy to break through somewhere. And what now? We wait. I actually missed completely. I should have played maybe... No, actually I couldn't do that anyway. Yeah, I should have played knight before. I forgot. I thought that I will play f5 next move anyway, but actually I completely missed that I couldn't do that. Shit, this is so stupid. This is incredibly stupid actually. I had no problems at all. I had a decent position, and what I did is just insane. So stupid. Incredible. After knight b4, then f5, I wouldn't have a single problem. And here, there are some problems for me, unfortunately. So stupid, insane. How stupid was it? Having no single problem, and then allowed him, like, okay, this was not really necessary, but here I completely, somehow I thought that like, you know, since I spent a lot of time on knight before, for me it was automatic that I can play f5 even when I play knight c5. But the right way, of course, was simply knight before. Let's say he does whatever, I play f5, that's it. This is a dead draw, no single problem for me. Knight d6, I can take. He cannot ever break through. Black could even play this position for a win. If somebody can, then it is black. White has no single chance to play for a win. So he would probably play something like, let's say, maybe rook a3, f5, maybe knight c6 or knight c2, trying to exchange the knight. I could take, doubling my rooks on the a file. It's just a deadly trash position. And then how could I, like, allowing him f5? So obvious, so obvious. Here, no single problem for me. I could, like, it was even no need to move my bishop, so my knight somewhere. I could have played f5 right away. And here it was still king f7. King f7, getting ready to play rook g8. And then I just simply blundered. Even here, king d7 is still, the game goes on, but you know, this one is worse for me. Insane how stupid it is. It was around 8, So we have a 6-minute break now. I don't even know how many points I have, probably 5 or maybe 5.5. Where am I? How many points do I have? Where am I? 5 out of 8. Insane. What can I say? I would say overall playing well, just like little bit not enough. Yeah, I could have, like, it was no need to play that stupid things, stupid piece sacrifice in one of the previous games, which I lost just because of that. Then I had a winning position against Erigaisi, and then now I had no problems. So I should have at least 6 out of 8. Yeah, probably 6.5 out of 8, based on my play today. But okay, we will finish the tournament today and get back next Tuesday. Okay, there is a break, so I'll be right back. Yeah, fight out of 8 is nothing great, but but I would still say that this is better than let's say I performed maybe half a half a year ago, because it was often about losing to somebody in round 2, round 3, or making a draw and then also making a few draws. So at least I'm getting close to somebody and playing against some strong players, and we can see that some of those strong players are not strong, but it is about finding balance between thinking and doing. And I like today's game against Aparin, which I played fast. It was nothing impressive what I did, but it was fast, and that's why I won the game. I also like my game against Erigaisi. I just don't like when my decision bishop d4. I knew that instantly once I played it that it was not so good. But also outplaying him, in fact. So even not really trying to outplay him, but outplaying. I mean, I was trying in the beginning, but then he equalized with that d4, but accidentally the endgame was better for me. So okay, let's at least for last 3 rounds strictly 2 minutes in the end. After 40 moves, 3 minutes, no matter what. This is the mission. Playing against the weak pawns. Interesting. Why? I don't know. I attack this, and in the worst case I can go there, but actually I'm aiming to grab one of those. Maybe otherwise I wouldn't take on c3, because c3, c4 is a problem for white, so white to help him taking one of them. But taking 2 of them, I can't help with that. The guy's probably shocked. He didn't think that. Okay, I still can take one of those, but let's go with rook e8 first, defending the pawn on e7. Maybe the bishop on g5 can be used. I mean, that bishop can be used against white, because the bishop is unprotected, so at some point I could take it for free. Okay, let's play a6, just avoiding anything with a6 by him. Because anyway, he cannot really attack my bishop, my queen in a good way. Yeah, rook c1, I go here, attacking that pawn as well. Or I can go to d4, exchanging the queens. Which is, by the way, a good idea, I think, to play queen d4, or maybe even queen c3. Queen d4 or queen c3? Let's go to d4 first, at least. The guys... Actually, my queen is getting a bit out of moves. Yeah, maybe it was not the best decision to go for. Maybe it's time to give up something. Saying that I have too much, take the part of this back. And now I even go to a7, not giving up anything. Or how about queen c5? Yeah, remember that? Oh shit, queen e7, queen a7. What I'm talking about? Shit. Bishop e3. I would lose material. Insane. Where do I move my queen at all? Queen c3, c5, queen c5. Then there is bishop e3. No, queen c5, bishop e3. I have queen c7. But now I forgot that he can go for this. And I cannot pose. Making stupid things today. What can I say? Actually, rook c1. Okay, I play queen b4, but he can repeat with rook b1. I can go queen c3, rook c1, queen b2 eventually. So most likely at some point he will have to take on b7, but he cannot do it right now, by the way. So what was my plan? My plan was queen c7. In the end, I have 2 pawns. I'm 2 pawns up. Yeah, should be more than enough, even if I give back one of them. But knight c6 is coming, d5 is coming. Do I really want to defend it so badly, like queen d7? Why not? Why not being greedy? No. At least I made queen d7 was the right move. Now knight c7 is a bit annoying. Stupid. At least I made 30 moves in 3 minutes, which is good, but not so good for my position. Bishop b7 is coming. Insane. So stupid. What am I doing today? I don't even have a good square for the rook. Shit. What is this position about? I don't understand it at all. Can I take something? Let's take there. Oh shit. Stupid me. Queen c6, bishop b5 was a move for him. Oh, terrible. Yeah, so a6 was wasting of time. And queen d4 was a mistake. Yeah, I didn't see queen a2, very nasty move. Okay, let's go to the next game. The exchange Slav is very nice and simple weapon against the Slav defense. Usually getting very good position and very good result as well. Already something stupid by black. Now one move left for me. Okay, he's in time at least to play f5. Bishop h4 doesn't work because of rook f1, but I can start with what? Queen h5, queen c2 looks good. Rook takes f6 is an option, actually. So now if queen f6, I go for queen h5, weakening his position. Anyway, queen h5, weakening his position. f5 makes sense. Trying something like knight takes d5 doesn't work yet. Knight takes d5 doesn't work yet, but maybe like a3 I can play, forcing him to take, but it's not really a big achievement for me. Yeah, better if I play probably maybe bishop h4. I missed the moment, and maybe it was better to start with bishop h4, but okay. Queen g5 actually such a stupid move. Okay, not terrible, but yeah, not great as well. Should have been an easy win for me, but instead of that we now play the endgame, which is not that bad for black. Still better for me, but yeah. Here, of course, from this position, yeah, just play queen c2 first. Simple move. Something what I teach my students, and they don't listen, and I don't listen as well. Actually, it makes sense to keep the bishops, I think. Maybe rook f3, rook g3 idea. Yeah, unfortunately he has 97, but okay. We are getting closer. There is not much he can do on the c file, so let's see how he's going to defend this position. What he's going to do about h4, h5. The bishop e8 makes sense. Okay, rook g8 probably is his idea. Or maybe queen f6. But queen f6, I have queen h6. Oh, queen h6. Fine, actually, because queen h4, I don't really have rook g6. I mean, I have actually, but I don't. I have, but I don't. Curious thing. But my plan is at least queen h4. I can take on h4, rook h3, knight g6, rook h7. He will have to play king e8, and in the end I have maybe just something rook g7, then next knight f4, next move. So having just a positional advantage. While queen h4, rook g6, queen e1, king h2, hg6. No, I don't think it works. Let's go for a simple decision. And unfortunately he doesn't lose immediately, which kind of looks like, for example, g4, but there is knight f8 attacking the rook. This is actually weird that he's not lost immediately. Let's just bring the king in. So I have, for example, this idea and bring in my king to e5. Bishop b5 is not a big deal for me. I can grab. Oh, but if I can play this is a problem. Oh, actually, I have rook d7, but there is e4 there. Okay. And how about starting with rook g7, asking his intentions? Maybe it was not a good idea helping him. Okay, let's go for knight f4. He can go rook c1 now, but the funny thing is not that easy for him to attack my pawns, and most of my things are defended. This one I thought I would go for this, grabbing the pawn on e6 and going to checkmate him with my king. By the way, excellent time management, 37 moves, 2 minutes on my clock. That's good enough. I don't know what he plans, how he plans to defend his position. Looks like should be just easy win for me. I thought knight c6 he should play, at least defending the e5 square, giving up the pawn on f5, because that pawn is cheaper than the king. And now I have, like, the main idea is king f6, because if king d6 there is at least check on c8, but the main idea is king f6. The only issue is that I just realized there is no checkmate yet. But thanks to his knight c6, I think there should be something. And maybe now I can even go for king d6. But it's still like there is no checkmate. Okay, if I play king d6, this is all good, but where is checkmate? I can there play rook b7 and kicking away the defense of the knight, but I can do this in this way as well. King f6. Say if he plays b4, I go... Oh shit, I thought king d6, rook a6, there is knight c7, but actually king f8 is there a move. Okay, let's go king f6. At least from this side it's more difficult for him to give me a check. But it's not so clear where's my checkmate. But there is no rush. There is no rush. He's out of moves actually, I think. Yeah, rook c7 is an idea. Rook b6 might be an idea. And even playing something like g3 is an option. By the way, maybe rook takes g2 that makes sense. Makes sense for him. Now I need to find my checkmate, if it exists. What if I play rook c7, rook c2 then? What if I play rook b6? The same story. Okay, let's go rook b6. Oh shit, 37. Like my internet connection is also not so good today. At least I will grab the pawn and maybe later I get back to trying to checkmate him. Maybe my king will even go to e5. Maybe I grab this first. 30 seconds, okay, time to speed up. This knight is pretty bad. Ouch. Stupid. Insane. What can I say? Completely winning here, just like don't play that stupid and I even thought for a second about that he might have that option, but in the end also to also just flag him and that's it. No, you know, this is simply not fair. Not fair what's going on today. Losing some points in in completely winning positions. Wow, I didn't say that. Shit, that's not fair. That's not fair. What's going on today? Bishop d1, there is 97. 95, there is queen h5. Queen f5, he can do whatever. 94 is good enough. Wow, he can even take the pawn on f7. Just like what? This giving up everything. Great game, what can I say? Of course, completely lost for me. White can do whatever. Bishop d5 is a good idea, maybe placing the bishop on e4. Takes e5 is a threat. Terrible, what can I say? Nice, nice. Rook g5, then there is queen e8. Queen g5, then there is queen h7. This is not a game, but a disaster. Too many pawns for white. Let's give him one more. Why not? I'm looking for some stalemate trick. Unfortunately, there is no stalemate trick. Unfortunately, there is checkmate trick. You see what is curious? His position was completely winning, and it is completely winning. But since he's low on time, yeah, okay. Anyway, checkmate is coming. But he has 30 seconds. Yeah, so it is just or I didn't see I have h5 square. I thought it's a stalemate. But you see, his position throughout the game was completely winning, but in the end of the game he went down to 28 seconds with a completely winning position. And somebody might say that, okay, his position was completely winning, and so he might waste some time, but if he would spend 20 more seconds, then he would lose. But yeah, no, this game, like so many stupid games today, where I missed points. Oh, it was the last round. I didn't even notice that. I thought there would be one more game. Okay, not a great tournament. Not a great tournament, but because of mainly being unlucky. Being unlucky, very unlucky today. I would still say that it's mainly because of sleeping not enough, but I don't even want to count how many points I lost, and the only deserved loss was in the last round. This game was like by blunder, but still. Other games, it was a good fight. It was a good position for me. Somewhere it's slightly worse position maybe for me, but maybe mainly better positions for me. Mainly advantages for me, and like spoiling them in a very stupid way. On last second of the opponent time, they escape to draw. It's insane. Okay, that's it for today. We repeat it next week, and maybe that would be better. We'll see. Bye bye.